We are back with another video. This one is going to be going over some of the game plan for AQ3D. As I mentioned in my last video, Dagger has left AE. Now, he was one of the ones that made those big boss battles, all the dungeons that you really love, the Noxus and that Goblin dungeon. He's the one that made those dungeons. Now, Avalon is going to be taking over the role of creating the boss challenges and other things like that. I think he's going to be doing a great job. If he applies similar strategies to what Dagger did when it came to the boss challenges, I think we can definitely see unique and challenging dungeons. I think the best way to deal with future challenges is to go in with an open mind. If you go in expecting to see flaws, you're going to find flaws. If you go in not knowing what to expect, then at least you're going to have an unbiased experience. Taking a look at the game plan, we have the Heroes Heart Day 2022 coming this week. The Westmer Saga continues. I don't know if that's going to be this week or not. We have a new saga that's going to be coming. This is the Archfiend, the Nulgath story, which is going to be really exciting. Really looking forward to that. We have a consolidating travel menus. Not really sure what that is in reference to. Also a early game update, so they're going back to some of the original maps and revamping them. They have done this in the past, but not to the same extent. So this is going to be like improving it, you know, where people are dropping off. They're going to try to fix those areas. They're having a combat update. I'm not really sure what that's going to entail either. I have no issues with the combat, but I'm interested to see what that's going to include. Way back in the day, they had a potential browser attachment where you'd be able to play the game through your browser. That is no longer in development and has been removed from devices. They have sheath weapons way back at like 20%. This is, I've seen the animation on Twitter, so I don't see how this is this far back, to be honest. This, to me, I would think this is like an 80%, but maybe the functionality isn't in place yet. As you can see, trade skill number 1, fishing. They have this, of course, maxed out because we've had fishing for a while. There was mining, and now with Dagger gone, is mining gone? Are we gonna have any more trade skills in the game? This is a question. I think Dagger had already finished mining, but there was like issues with it that there was a reason why he hadn't released it. I'm hoping maybe they are going to release it. It's just not on the game plan. Trading, they've now changed this. This used to say auction house beside it. I'm not sure why it doesn't anymore. Now it just says trade. It's obviously not being worked on right now. And trading, I will tell you, if trading ever does come, it will be an insanely difficult thing to do. It will require like huge changes. So this is not going to be coming in the next year. Housing and castles, this has not started either. This is also going to be a huge endeavor, but I still think this should be something that should be kind of prioritized. Not over top of the saga, but I still think it should be something really pushed, as well as the museum. The museum is another thing, because I think with the introduction of museum, you could have collections, which could add a wealth of content for people who run dungeons, as well as a suggestion that Koroko had about putting leaderboards in dungeons that could also create a wealth of content for people trying to push on the leaderboard. Guild content, this is planned, and I also think this is another thing they should really cap on, would be this as well. These are the classes they have in the game. As you'll notice, the other classes that they had mentioned are now missing. They are no longer available. Does that mean that they are no longer in progress? No, that does not mean that. What that means is it's just not coming right away. There is no plans of releasing any class right away, which is unfortunate, because honestly, considering the amount of time that this game has existed, AQ Worlds was up to like 50 classes, if not more than that. So it's now with PvP introduced, it does make it a lot more difficult when you're introducing a class, but they could potentially lock the class out of PvP, so you can't use that class in PvP. They could potentially do that. I really hope they bring out more classes. in the worlds section, so the museum is at, looks like 60%, maybe 55% we got museum, so I'm really hoping they focus and push that out, because I think if they implement the museum properly, it could give a ton of content throughout the world of lore. You have the Ashfall Guardian. We had a bunch of other Guardian towers. They have been removed. We have the storyline, the Guardian Towers. This would be incorporating the Nature Guardian Tower, which was the first introduction, and then it would be adding on to other ones. I'm assuming that these are linked to this. I am amazed this is not at 100%. 7 out of 10. There's still 4 awaiting instructions from backers. Wow. I also remember they had a ton of other places that were mentioned here that were going to be worked on eventually, but they've all been removed as well. Again, anything being removed from this doesn't mean that it's not being worked on, it just means it's not going to be worked on right away. For the set of the day, we're going with this one right here. This one caught my eye because of the ice with the snowman head. It was hilarious. And it made it into the set of the day. That is it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Keep those swords swinging.